Hello everybody, John here with Shooting Tips and Tricks, and today I bring you a package direct from the UK via the Royal Mail. Now, it doesn't look like much, but inside we have something special. Now, this is one of the Phoenix bipods. These, like I said, these come right from the UK. There's no one in the US that distributes these. And this is a beautiful piece of machining right here. I also picked up a little extra mount for it as well. Now, it's all aluminum construction, and as you can see, their machining work is quite magnificent. I haven't seen a single flaw in this entire thing. I looked it over pretty good. Now this one I got as a overbarrel style bipod rather than the typical bipod that attaches to the bottom of your gun, and for reasons I'll go into a bit later. But let's take a little closer look. Now this one, it's a quick detach. It's got the little lever right up here, and you just push that in and the mount pulls right out. And it has a little tensioner up on top here so you can tighten it down so that it's more snug or more loose. But just like this, it works pretty good, and you can see it tilts side to side as well. And to extend these ones, you have to actually pull the limbs out and then they extend. And you can fold them either forward or back, as you can see from the notches here. And the other one. And then the feet fold down. And these ones are so rigid and stable that you can take and stand them up just like that. Yep. And a lot of that is thanks to these large pads on the bottom. And as I said before, the construction on these is very nice. The tolerances are good and snug. I mean, these limbs, when they fold, I mean, even in the midway position there's very minimal play in them. And the feet as well. I mean, they fold in and out pretty smoothly, but they're stiff enough to where they don't go freely. I believe a lot of that is attributed to this groove that goes down the middle, so it's probably keeping constant tension outwards against it, so you don't have a loose or a overly snug feel. Alright, and then we have the adjuster, is this guy right here that you just push to the side. The blade comes out, and you can see they got a whole series of notches for different height adjustments, and they're directional, so you can actually pull this out without pushing the button in. But I tried that and it's pretty stiff, so you lock it in and yep, it goes out, but it takes a fair bit of force to pull on it. Yep. And then the tensioner on top, it's got a block in the bottom here. As you can see, that's how the tensioner works. Now, as you can see, there's quite a few considerable differences between this one as opposed to over here. I've got one of the Atlas bipods. This guy, fold him out quick. You can see he's quite a bit bigger by comparison. I'll set that guy down. You can set him inside of it. And then we even have one of the Harris bipods here, which is a little bit bigger one, but even it almost fits inside. Alright. Now, as I said, I got this one to use as a overbarrel, and the reason for that is when your gun is hanging from the bipod rather than sitting on top of it, when you're trying to find your level point for longer range shooting, it's going to naturally float towards center since it's hanging like a pendulum. And other than that, when you're looking through the scope, when you tilt the angle side to side, it's moving from the bottom rather than from the top like a normal bipod. So your crosshairs will actually stay almost on target regardless of the direction you tilt it. So it's a small feature, but it adds a little bit to your comfort. Now, you notice this doesn't have the normal feeding like the rubber feet, or the, like on this Harris I made these little claw feet for the dirt. And the reason for that is there's generally two different ways to use a bipod. And the first is using like the rubber pads or the claws, and that's you'll get from the tactical shooters a lot, and anyone that shoots just out in the open. It's best to load the bipod, and that's where you get a good footing with your bipod and you lean into it to take up a lot of that slop, and then you have a nice solid footing so your gun's sitting nice and solid, and you can control the recoil a little better. Well, the other method is with these kind of feet here, and that's where you're not loading it. You let the bipod just skid back with the gun freely. But in order to do that, you need a solid bipod, and this one is darn solid. I mean, there's no play in it at all, so this one should work rather well. Now, when I was looking around for a better bipod as opposed to the Harris or the Atlas or some others like that, what I was originally going to go with is a F-class bipod, which has a really wide stance like these, but they come up more vertical like that, and they're and they mount to the underside on the stock like a normal bipod. But the thing I didn't like about those is not a lot of them have the tilting feature, and not a lot of them have a quick detach. I mean, usually they just have like the hand screw like this here to take them on and off. And then a lot of them don't have the tilting feature to them. You actually adjust with the legs. So for a lot of the shooting that I do, it didn't work. One of those wouldn't work all that well. So that's when I ended up going, or I found this guy, and I like these ones because it carries a lot of the features that you get with more basic bipod, like the folding and the tilting and all that. But you get the nice wide stance like you do with an F-class bipod, and the rigidity as well. So you don't have to focus on your consistency as much like you do with a standard bipod. Because those work good, but you have to be really careful, because if you shift your position or the amount you load it or your hold a little bit, it's a lot easier to wing one of those shots. A more rigid bipod like these is a little more forgiving. So, now we'll set this guy aside real quick, and we'll grab our rifle and mount it up real quick. Get that out of the way. And for this I got my little Precision 6.8 AR. And we'll just take this guy and snap him right onto the top of the rail. Now the bipod skids all the way back to this little swell here, so we're going to want to have that right at the front edge of the rail. So it looks like probably about right there. Gonna be good. That one might be a little bit too far back, so we'll have to go one forward. Now on this one you can pull it out and move it to whichever position you want. We'll just snug that up and we'll just move it to a center position like so. Then all we have to do is grab our bipod, slide it through, it snaps right on. And there it is. So you can see you can take and tilt it side to side freely, or that's a little better. Just like so. You can adjust your length and all of that. And this scope's a little bit fat to fold this guy up, but it does go. Let's fold these feet up quick and see if we can get it just to show. There. So you can see, for such a big bipod, it actually folds up rather compact with the gun. It sticks off the side some, but it's not real bulky. And being that it folds up more to the top, you still have your normal hold on the bottom. You don't have to worry about that as much. Let's see if we can get these limbs back out. Not as much grip on it with being right up next to the scope like that, so we'll just pull it off this way. There we go. I'll just fold it back out here. This guy probably won't be using too much in the folded position, at least on this gun. I might on my 7 mag. That one I'm probably going to set up with one of the rail mounts on the front of the stock, like the Badger Ordnance or one of them others like that. But yeah, there it is, the Phoenix Tactical Bipod. Can't wait to get this guy out and give him a shot and see how he does in the field. Alright, well, I think that's about it for this video. And as always, if you liked it, well, there's a button down there. If you didn't like it, well, there's a button down there. Anything you want to add, let me know in the comments. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.